Alright guys, this is Eric at the Lord of We Can't Get, making this how-to video so you guys can customize your mask. So I've been asked by people to do it for them, and just between shipping here and there, it's going to cost a lot of money. So I wanted to share a little secret that I found when it comes to painting your mask. So these are the masks that I've been using for quite some time now. This is my latest one. I've used this one for about 2 years now. This one for about a year, and this one about a year. So anyways, before I painted my masks, they would chip, they won't stay on the mask, and so on and so forth. So I found a little secret that I wanted to share with you guys. As you can see, you know, this thing like bends or whatever, but there'll be times where it'll peel off, but it won't chip. So if it does peel off, just put some super glue in between and you can just stick it back on the mask itself. So pretty much so far it's been durable. I haven't had any issues with it. Alright, let's get started. So this is the latest mask that I'm doing. Basically, this is going to be another one of my masks. I'm not going to sell it. I just like to customize things. So first things first is basically I cleaned it up, washed it with soap and water, get all the residue out, and then I'm using this Loctite vinyl fabric and plastic. You can get this at Lowe's for about $5 or $6. You'll need about 2 tubes of these. Just your standard brushes that you can get from Michaels. I got some lacquer thinner, and I use this can and just to put the glue on there. So alright, let's get started. So basically this thing cures pretty fast, so the trick is to just use a little bit at a time. Alright, so, and then when I upload this video, I'm going to speed this process up. I'm going to fast forward it. So just put a little bit. And then you just brush it on. So basically, brush it on there. Make sure you get a good coat, but make it just like a thin coat, and you're just gonna layer it. And if you hear screaming, that's just my kids always trying to put them to bed. So as you can see now, I mean, it's hard to see, but this glue is already starting to cure. So you only do it a little bit at a time. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because basically it's just for show anyways. Alright. Again, I'm gonna fast forward this part. See, it's already starting to get stringy. Oops. A little bit more. So basically that's all you do. So I'm gonna pause the camera and continue on here in a second, because there's really nothing much to see here. So basically just do it a little bit at a time. Thin coat. Cover your mask as much as possible. The part that you're going to paint, because this is the base for, obviously the base for your design. And because that's where you're gonna put your paint, and then sandwich it together. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna pause it real quick. Continue it on. Alright, so one thing I wanted to show is if you're gonna put your mask down, just put it upside down like that. I figured that's a little trick that I want to share you guys as well with you guys. Alright, I'm gonna pause it again. Alright, so now I've done my first layer of base coat. I'm just gonna leave it alone because what I've done before, the mistake that I've done is that, you know, if there's like a little wrinkle here and there on the mask itself, I tried to you know, fix it with a brush, but since the glue is already curing, if you do that, it's gonna make more of a mess. So if it's uneven a little bit, just leave it alone. It's not really gonna affect it. So basically, once you put your coat down, leave it alone and let it cure for about maybe an hour, and then do another coat with the mask. I usually do like at least 3 coats of the base coat, and then I do my design. So cool deal. Again, flipping it upside down. Now that I'm done with my base coat, so look at that. I don't know if you can see that in the video. The glue is already starting to become stringy, like Spider-Man. All right, and if you want to save your brush, do a little lacquer thinner. Basically, do this. Just clean your brush. I mean, I got plenty, but I don't want to waste it, you know? So, this. People say, oh, the mask looks stupid, blah, 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 but hey, as long as you're happy with it, you know, doesn't matter. I get a lot of compliments with the masks every time I take it out of the field, so it's really up to you guys. All right, so I'm going to pause it, do my 2 coats of base coat, and then I'll do my design. All right, so now I've laid my base coat on my mask, right? So I put like 2 coats of this adhesive on there. Now it's time for me to do the base paint. So for this particular mask, I've decided to do kind of like a Carnage theme. So it'll be red with black teeth. So just for you, Michael Davis. So this one, I'm going to use my airbrush to do the base coat. I mean, you can use paintbrush, but just to make it easier on myself, I'm going to do it with my airbrush. Be careful. All right. Again, you can do this with a regular brush, but I don't really want to waste my time since I already have my airbrush kit. So it's very important that you're patient when you're doing this process, because if you rush it, you're gonna mess it up. So when you're using paint, make sure you use enamel, not acrylic, because you want that oil-based paint on here. Doesn't have to be perfect. So the grill is a pretty nice mask to do your customization because there's a lot of real estate, you know. So so my base is done. So now my base coat is done with my mask, and I'm just gonna let it dry. The sun's still out outside, so I'm gonna lay it out there maybe for a couple hours maybe, and then start my teeth. So again, be patient with it, so don't rush it. If you're about to do your second layer and you notice that the paint is still kind of smudging, just, you know, let it dry. It's better to be safe than sorry. So all right, turning this off for now. All right, now that my base is done, what I'm gonna do is gonna add some pink. So basically the inside of his mouth. So. Using my trusty airbrush, basically layering it. So what you want to do is layer your paint. And don't worry about any overspray or anything. You can always just touch it up later with your paintbrush. So. The reason why I'm using this is because it's a lot quicker. So the color is a lot pinker than I like it to be. It's a lot lighter. So I'm gonna let this dry for a second, for a few minutes, and then I'll add a little bit more pigment to my paint and then go from there. Alright, again, the pink is a little too light. I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little bit darker. Alright, it may not look much right now. Let's see my phone. Let's see what I can see. So it's basically two-tone, right? Let's see my phone right there. Let's see what I'm looking at. So basically that's going to be like the mouth of, inside of the mouth of Carnage. So. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just use your imagination. So. Alright. Do it. I'll let it dry for about 24 hours and then do the teeth. So like you can see right there's like some overspray, whatever, but get that fixed later. So no big deal. Cool. Alright guys, now that my mask is pretty much dry, right? So it's time for me to do the teeth. So I got my trusty paint right here. Basically I just put the can upside down, a brush, and basically this is going to be like the rough design on the teeth, and then I use a little tiny brush to do the details of the pointy teeth. So when I do the teeth, I typically start from the center of the mask to go down, and then same thing, I do the top one first and then the bottom, and then I just flip it, do the top, and then do the bottom. So, all right, here we go. So I tend to curve it a little bit. Not too worried about the details right now. Again, it's just a matter of getting the rough design of the teeth, and then later on when it's dry, you just do the little details. So. Once I go down, I typically kind of curve the teeth. And don't worry, see how, if you look closely, it's not fully colored yet. Don't worry about that. When you do your second or third coat, it'll get better. So if you look at my masks here, the way I have the teeth, I curve it. See the curve on the teeth? So I'm gonna do that. All right. So I'm gonna keep going down the row, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Pause it for now. Alright, the top one's kind of pretty much done. So I'm gonna go down on the bottom now. So basically you're gonna go down this row. So if you see with the teeth, what I do is as it goes towards the back of the teeth, you can see that I curve it a little bit. So I'm just gonna go down the line and then show you guys what I have. I'm gonna pause it.